In today's market vlog, I'm going to show you how I'm going to make these pens to sell at my first market. Let's make this. So I'm going to use UVDTF. I've started using this just for my markets, and it's kind of like an alternative to vinyl. So it is, you send them a print of your design, and then they will send you back peel and stick kind of sticker things. It feels a bit like nail polish, I guess. And you can give them any colours, any design, and they will print it for you. So today we're going to work on 3 different pens. So I've got this flower design. So these are using my pastel brand colours. Then I've got some eggs using my signature yellow. I really love this egg design, and I'm going to put it on pink pen, so that's going to be really cool. And then I've got these flames. So I've got the bright pink, I've got an orange, and I've got the yellow in there for that with a black outline, and I'm going to put that on a black pen. So, yeah. So the transfers, they were from amazingtransfers.com.au. So they're an Australian company, really easy to deal with. They are great. They sent back my designs. They were really good at telling me which ones weren't working. They checked even on, some of them didn't have a transparent background, and so they checked to make sure they shouldn't have a transparent background when I wanted the colour. So that was really good. And then I've gone to another online company called XO Craft. Now I've got the pens from them. So I've got 3 different colours. So I've got black, white and pink, and I got all of these from XO Craft. And they're also an Australian online company as well. So that's really great. They've got a stylus on the end, so really cute for people who use their iPads. And then they're a twist top. Now, I've tested these pens out and they actually work. I'm a teacher, so having pens that work and are actually quite nice is really important. So I tested them first. I only bought 30 to start with, but I think I'm going to put a new order in and get some more. I don't know if these are going to sell, but after I've seen them, I'll make a decision. But the fact that they write really well, I think I'm on a winner. So I'm going to start with the pink pen. And I'm going to add these eggs. I think the pink and the eggs is going to be fantastic. I love that yellow. And this pink, even though it's not as dark as my branding, I think this bright fluoro pink is just going to be perfect against that white and that yellow. So I'm just going to show you how easy it is actually to use these transfers. So they're just like a sticker. So peel it back. Now, if you've got nails, it's going to be a lot easier for you. And so I just peel it back and you can see that it's just kind of like vinyl. So if we're using, permanent vinyl, you just put your front sheet on and then, you just put your front sheet on and then all of your other parts will come off. So see how they're just all coming out as these beautiful little egg designs. Now I'm going to I'll put it on the table because it's a lot easier if I put it on the table. Kind of stays. It's got that thick backing on it. That's the only criticism I have. Is it's got that thick backing like on Cricut, this Cricut Smart Vinyl. And if you've watched my YouTube channel, you'll and I'm doing tutorials, you'll hear me say that I hate the Cricut Smart Vinyl because of the thick backing. Well, that's the same thing, but it peels off okay. So then what I found is that I do then need to, just to help me to line things up, I put the backing back down on my design with just some of that hanging out. That way it's easier to kind of manipulate and move around, and I'm not putting the whole thing down to start with, and I can kind of line it up and center it. The other thing about these pens, now you can take off just this top bit. Sometimes the bottom bit pops out. So if that happens, you can put the pen back quite easily. But this top bit, see the whole bit came out. But it comes out as different parts. So this will all go back together. And you can see I've got my pen and my spring as well. But they'll all come, we can put all of that back together again a bit later. By taking it apart, it means I can just put the transfer on the actual body of the pen rather than trying to get it around the clip. And now it's just a matter of me trying to line this transfer up with the pen. And so because I've got my design is kind of a V shape, I want the top part of the pen, the top part of the egg design to match up here. So I'm just going to, if you can see there, I'm just going to line it up. I'm going to try and keep it as straight as possible. And then now it's just a matter of pressing it down like it's a sticker. I've found that you do not necessarily need to use a scraper, like one like this, but you can if you wanted to, just to make sure that it stays down. But I'll show you at the end a little trick that I've learnt or I've worked out. I don't know if it's a true trick. And now it's just a matter of me taking the rest of that backing off, because I've got my first lot of eggs down, and then I'm going to start rolling. Now, I want to make sure that I don't roll it all the way. So I've still got some that's flapping out a bit. You can see there. The reason is I don't want this transfer here to sit on top of the transfer or the transfer tape that's here. So I'm just going to lift that up, and you can see how easy it's coming up. Now, like I said before, if I had nails, life would probably be a little easier. But now that's just lifted up, and that is just plastic. So it's like just a film, and each of those little gaps is where our print has been. And now I can roll the rest of that without the concern that I'll overlap the transfer. I did, when I was playing around and having my first experiment with it, I accidentally did overlap, and what happened was some of those designs that are on the overlap actually popped up. So it's kind of a bit like nail polish, like shellac, and it's probably the similar material, but the shellac, if you chip it, it pops off as like a whole chip, and that's what happened with some of my designs. And now it's just a matter of peeling this all back. Now, making sure, again, one of those things I learnt was to make sure that you're not peeling it too fast, because if you peel it too fast, it may crack. So I got very confident and decided to start peeling them up quicker, because I was like, oh, I'm all over this. And turns out, no, I'm not. And see here, one of my eggs has popped up a bit because I've got the transfer tape over the top. So, but it just still peels up. Just got to be a bit gentle, that's all. And then the last thing I do is, particularly because I'm doing this around a pen, I just want to make sure that all these little designs have stuck down properly. So I just roll it between my hands. I don't know, again, if this is a technique. I could be just making this up, but I've just found that now makes sure all of my little bits of egg have all stuck down and I don't have any lifting. But it's like when you feel it, it's kind of a bit 3D. So it sits on top of, it doesn't meld into your pen. It sits on top. But look at this. Look at that colour. I am absolutely obsessed. I really should make a whole reel about me saying I'm obsessed with this or I love this. But this is one of those things that's just like, I'm obsessed. I love this. So I'm just going to put this pen back together. So all those parts, and it's just because it's a twisty pen, I've just got to make sure that I find where that twist fits in. And then now it's twisted, and all I do is I just pop it back in, and then you see that my pen now works. And it is so good. I just love it. Isn't that awesome? That colour combination. Now, comment in the description below. I'm thinking of selling these for about $5. So the pen, to start off with, I think it was on sale. It cost me about $2. And each of these transfers, all the ones that I could fit on my sheet, I worked out that they're about 70 cents each, because I've got some bigger ones, some smaller ones, different products. But I thought for $2.70, if I price them at about $5, if you want to comment below, do you reckon these are $5? What do you think? All right, so now I'm just going to speed up putting on transfers for all the other ones. So this is what we've ended up with. So we've got the two black ones. So I love this one. I think it's giving like total crochet vibes, you know, like a total granny square kind of fit. I love it. I think it's really cool. And then we've got the flames. It's got that classic black and red kind of flames vibe. So it's like really cooking in the kitchen. Then with my pink ones, I've got the eggs and I've got these flowers. And again, I think the flowers are really cute in this design as well. I just love the whole concept of those flowers. I think they get a little bit washed out here, but they're still there. There's enough there to show. And then I've got my eggs here as well. And then I've got the monstera. I really love this design. It's giving total Miami. It's Golden Girls, right? I love that. And then I've also got those flowers in that style as well. So I think I am going to get some more of these pens because I think that they're really cool. I've got some left over of the DTF, the transfer stuff, so I'm going to get a few more. But yeah, comment below. Let me know what you think. Do you think these are something that you would buy? Would you pay more or would you pay less? So thanks for being here today. I really hope that you've enjoyed today's, and I hope you're enjoying coming along this little marketing journey with me. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget, you can always jump on my Instagram, head over to my Etsy store, or even check out the videos YouTube recommends for you down below.